Before we go into some more technical details, let's talk about some of the basic aspects of the web, its history, and the future. In this module, we'll also discuss blockchain, transactions, cryptocurrencies, and the differences between Web 2 and Web 3 apps. We will assume that you have an understanding of what blockchain is and the main principles of blockchain. We also will cover some important questions about these, but for more technical details, we invite you to read the explanation. Link is provided below. The Internet as a technology was born in 1969, more than 50 years ago. To be more precise, on 2nd September 1969. This was the very first time two computers communicated with each other. But the World Wide Web was invented by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. The World Wide Web in those days was completely different, not like it is now. There were no social networks like Facebook, e-commerce websites like Amazon, or even search engines and websites with memes. Web pages were mostly read-only services. Universities and big companies were the main content creators, and pages were static only, without any way to interact with them. We call this Web 1.0. Web 1 is the read-only Internet. Internet adoption and penetration grew extremely fast, and in the mid-2000s, new interactive web services started to appear. Forums, social networks, many other platforms for user-generated content. The web became a read and write service. Pages became interactive and dynamic, and we still live in the era of Web 2.0. We can say that Web 2 is a web and internet with user-generated content and P2P interactions. What about Web 3? Well, Web 3 is the future of the internet, but what will this future look like? A couple of years ago, Web 3 was synonymous with the semantic web, a family of standards to promote common data formats and exchange protocols on the web. But now we have another vision of Web 3. We can see that the internet is becoming more and more intelligent over time. A large number of users are communicating, creating, and sharing content. The complexity of these users' behavior is also increasing dramatically. There are many challenges too, especially concerning data breaches and privacy. So we believe that the future of the internet should be decentralized, secure, and user-centric. It will also make sense to use the benefits of major emerging technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, virtual or augmented reality, and so on. So Web 3 is different from the previous shift from Web 1 to Web 2. At its core, Web 3 isn't about speed, performance, or convenience. Instead, Web 3 is about power. It's about who has control over the technologies and applications that we use every day. It's about breaking the dynamic that has shaped the last decade of the web, the trade-off between convenience and control. You can read more about this trade-off in the article linked below. One of the pioneers of Web 3 and the co-founder of the Ethereum blockchain, Gavin Wood, described Web 3 in 2014 as a reimagination of the sorts of things that we already use for the Web 4, but with a fundamentally different model for the interactions between parties. Information that we assume to be public, we publish. Information that we assume to be agreed upon, we place on a consensus ledger. Information that we assume to be private, we keep secret and never reveal. Communication always takes place over encrypted channels and only with pseudonymous identities as endpoints, neither with anything traceable such as IP addresses. In short, we engineer the system to mathematically enforce our prior assumptions, since no government or organization can reasonably be trusted. End of quote. Well, in this lesson, we've talked about the web's evolution, about Web 1, 2, and 3, and their differences. We can describe Web3 as a fully decentralized web with new models of interaction for users, based on trustless infrastructure. In the next video, we'll start exploring the technical aspects of Web3, decentralization, blockchains, and their consensus algorithms.